Nothing says inclusivity that more than going into somebody else's language, into somebody else's culture, and then changing it, misspelling everything, and calling them bigots for not being okay with you doing it. Big controversy right now, LATAM player base, due to excessive use of forced inclusive language in the Spanish LATAM version of Dragonflight. The translation has a lot of what you would call grammatical errors or plain simple fabricated words for the sense of, wait, what? For context of Spanish, there are 3 genders for words: male, female, and neutral. Some words have male and female versions. The male writer in Spanish is El Escritor, and I don't get it. I don't know how to pronounce it. La Escritoria, I don't know how to say that. Teacher, I'm not going to even try to pronounce any more of them. An example of gender neutral word is singer, finalized with the letter E. Okay, so what's the problem? LATAM players have been seeing Dragonflight's enormous amount of words that have been changed from their male and female versions to fabricated words with neutral gender? What? For example, the campaign character Celestra, which in English is called Majordomo Celestra, has been translated to Lay Majordome Celestria, which is incorrect. The correct translation would be El Majordomo Celestria. Please note that the lay and majordome are fabricated words, non-existent in any previous text in the Spanish language, and of course not approved by the RAE, Real Academia Española, which is an institution dedicated to regularize the correct use of Spanish. What the fuck? The whole Dragonflight expansion is filled with the incorrect uses of language. Hundreds of them have been found by players. Other examples include the quest, Tavon's purpose, which the wording I don't know what that is used. In Spanish, centaurs have male and female versions, and for male, okay. Centauri is a fabricated word, and this forced inclusivity attempt. Same with Herfane, which is orphan in Spanish. Oh, I get it. So basically, they're making up new words. They're making up new gender neutral words because they don't want to use male and female gender words. Yeah, like, is this true or not? Like, I have no idea if this is actually accurate or what. Gender neutral words do not exist in Spanish. I don't know. It's worth noting that this forced inclusive language is only found in the LATAM Spanish version. The European Spanish version was translated correctly. There's a campaign in LATAM to ask Blizzard to correct our version of the game. Dozens of tickets have been created, but they're disregarded by the support. Most forum posts about the topic are deleted just after being created and giving an option for the player base to create. The vast majority of LATAM players are against the use of this incorrect and forced language into the game. I think we need citation needed here, but I would probably agree that this is probably true. Most players have opted for playing the game in European Spanish version or English, so they're not forced to see this language aberrations. In LATAM, we have far more important issues to attend to than worrying about some entitled white man emotions. Yeah, I mean, nothing says inclusivity that more than going into somebody else's language, into somebody else's culture, and then changing it, misspelling everything, and calling them bigots for not being okay with you doing it. Yeah, I definitely fucking agree with this. This is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. It's you know what the word for this is? I'm gonna use it. And people aren't going to like this word, but I'm going to use it. It's cultural appropriation. Unironically. They are unironically culturally appropriating the language of another culture and then using it to push their fucking agenda against the will of those people. It's insane. As a Mexican, I read something about, and it's nonsense, basically using toads, which is genderless, made-up word instead of todos, which means everyone, or todas, which means all the females. Just nonsense we don't give a fuck about. Well, keep pushing back. And the best way to push back about this kind of stuff, listen, is by stop playing the game. If you don't like this, just stop playing the game. That is the solution. If this stuff is weird to you, makes you uncomfortable, you think it's insulting, whatever you want to call it, yeah, what the fuck do I know about this? But yeah, stop playing it. When progressive people in South America use that kind of language, the rest of people find that kind of shit stupid. It's about as Western as you can get. Yeah, exactly. To be honest, losing the LATAM fan base for any IP is brutal because they're usually the most fanatic about it. Well, yeah, I mean, again, so pattern rewards companies always try to hide behind inclusiveness and political correctness these days. My theory is that these companies like Blizzard purposely try to cause as much outrage as possible in the hope that people forgot that they stole baby milk and bullied a female to death, among other things. I actually don't really think it's... I don't think there's a grand design. I really don't. I think that it's just as simple as Blizzard has hired people that have this agenda, and then the people that work at Blizzard that have this agenda put it into the game. There's not a fucking, you know, it's not like Bobby is like, you know, fucking change the gender now. You know, this is like, you know, fucking break the glass. We're gonna change the gender of an important character. Like, I don't really think that's what's happening here. I think what's really happening here is that, you know, you just have people that are hired at the company that have an agenda to push, and then they do it. Like, it's really just that simple. I don't think there's ESG involved or anything. I think that's just individual people that work there that think that. I mean, Blizzard, like, how many of the times have we seen, like, different employees or different people that work there pushing stuff like this, pushing different, like, social issues, etc.? I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that there's just a lot of people that work at the company that think this kind of stuff. Like, that's what I would assume. I think that's the simplest and easiest thing to expect. Still, Blizzard are the ones who hires diversity offers and shit. Well, the thing is, like, the best thing about a free market is that you can never guilt the public and the market into being okay with anything. So if people in wherever in LATAM, I don't know how to even fucking say it. I feel cringe even using that term because it reminds me of Latinx, you know? And so I don't know, like, what the right word to use for that group of people. Latin America, I guess, yeah. If it makes them uncomfortable, they don't like it, then just stop playing the fucking game, right? Stop playing the game, stop supporting stuff like this, stop supporting a bunch of white people who have, you know, an agenda to push from co-opting your language and then turning it into, you know, making fake made-up words in order to fit their worldview. Just stop giving them money. And I guarantee you, if you stop giving them money, if enough people do that, this will stop instantaneously. Let's be honest. Of all the things Blizzard chooses to do, yeah, just keep in mind about all the things that are broken in the game. Hey, when I see people Latinx use with me, it's like, fuck out with that shit. I don't think that anybody, like... I feel like most people, like... And if you're from Latin America, like, let me know if this is true, but, like, I bet that if somebody uses Latinx and they're not being weird, you're probably just like, oh, okay. Like, I know what they mean, right? Like, I'm pretty sure it's probably not, like, triggering to anybody. It's just like, okay. That's kind of what I'm assuming, but I don't know. Latinx is weird. Is it weird? It's weird by default. I've never heard a real person say that. There's, like, a lot of these things where, like, that sounds weird. I don't know. I just usually assume that, like, most people in, like, normal, like, public conversation just, like, brush that shit off and don't really care. But I've never heard a real person use this word. Like, the only time that, like, you hear a lot of these things used is on the internet. Because, like, normal people don't talk like this. Normal people don't act like this. It's just like a handful of people that are inside their house all day that, you know, spend time talking to each other and, you know, radicalize each other even further. In Latin America, Blizzard's really pushing the agenda to be racist towards us. Well, I don't know if it be... I don't think it's racist. It's just, it's cultural appropriation. Actually, it's disrespectful. I think that's probably the main thing, is it's disrespectful. Like, you don't go into somebody else's culture, change all their words, and then be like, yeah, well, we did this because you're bad. No, I think that's really what it is, more than, like, I don't know if racist is the right word. It's just highly disrespectful. It's typical American behavior. It seems like it is, and I apologize. You know, I think these people are fucking ridiculous. It's disrespectful to the culture. Yeah, it's ideological colonization. That's an interesting word to use. Some people in the culture support that too, to be fair. There you go. And, you know, it's just that if enough people don't, then it'll change. Something Blizzard invented. Yeah, maybe you're right. It's Mexican American. Most people I talk to from Mexico don't even know Latinx exists. Yeah, it's mainly a U.S. and social media thing. I don't know, man. Like, I'm far down enough in Texas to where I'm pretty sure this used to actually be Mexico. So there's a lot of people that are Mexican around here, of course. And I've never heard that word used. I have no idea. I'm sure if I went to one of the like really rich white people areas around here, I'd probably hear Latinx a lot more. I don't know what's wrong with these people. Like, this is like my own personal fucking, like, opinion that I have. I think that a lot of the people that use terms like that and act like that, and they're like constantly like super conscientious about, like, you know, using the right terms and saying the right things to people, I think that they're secretly racist. I do. I think that they have some sort of like weird, like, hang up with people that have like, you know, that are like of that culture or that race. And I think that the reason why I believe that, and this is like kind of, again, I don't really have like any evidence for this. It's just like a vibe that I get. It's just that, yeah, they're forming these mental walls to like categorize these people, because whenever they see this person, they're not seeing somebody, you know, I don't know, what's a fucking, like Pablo, right? Some like a Mexican name. They're not seeing Pablo. They're seeing, you know, Latinx individual, and they have like all these different fucking, you know, terms that they use for them. It's just weird, man. Patronizing? Yeah, it is. How's that racist, though? I think that to the extent that you look at people through the lens of race, and that's the way that you define them, and that's the way that you react to them, and because of that, you are, like, behaving in a certain way around them as an outcome of their race, I don't think that it's racist in the same way that, like, the KKK is racist, no. But it's weird, and it's, like, it's fundamentally, again, like, dehumanizing. It's making this person's no longer a person. They're a part of a group. They're part of a demographic. They don't have their own feelings or wants or, you know, anything like that. So I'm not a fan of that stuff. A collection of stereotypes, yeah. Think you're missing the point of them doing this? What do you think the point is? Yeah, I'm confused. Yeah, what do you think the point is? I'm curious. They aren't doing a white savior and inventing words. They've been around for a long time. Just started using them in the game is all. It's hard to say. I mean, it seems like a lot of people aren't a fan of. Look at the mass messages I said. Only people who care are butthurt righties. This guy seems like an idiot. I'm just gonna ban him. It doesn't even make sense. There's no argument. There's like, the people that have the other opinion are part of a group that's bad. So if you have this opinion, then you're part of the bad group. No, we're not going to waste our time with this. Okay. Anyway, yeah, this is really cringe and weird, and hopefully Blizzard can learn to respect other cultures. So we'll see. I'm sure they will.